everybody and welcome, Cassie Brown here. Today I want to show you just a couple of different ways of colouring your hydrangea. So this is one that I've done in a previous video. As you can see, I've left it white and then I've coloured the edges with a little bit of pink and then green in the centre. But I want to elaborate on that because the hydrangeas are so beautiful and there's so many different colours. I just want to really show you some of the colours that you can do by airbrushing and a little bit of dusting as well. So let's start with the really pale colours, and I'm going to bring in this lovely pink one that I've done here. Lovely colour, as you can see. So this is just pink chroma colour, airbrush colour. So I'm going to start by putting some of that. I'm just going to make sure there's nothing in my airbrush. Make sure that's all nice and clean, ready to go. And then we're just going to put a little bit of pink in there. Not too much, just a couple of drops. Now always make sure that it's the right colour. And it is, it's that nice vibrant pink. Now I'm going to bring my petals over. Now this is a quite simple one to do. It is just going darker in the centre and being a little bit paler around the edge. So as you can see, I'm not going right to the edge. And you could certainly do this the opposite way round, where you go just round the edge and you don't go into the centre. So there's lots of different varieties of this particular colour. But I just thought it'd be quite nice to do a little video showing you all these wonderful colours. So just kissing that centre there, like so. So just in the centre. Like that. And then all we do is we get our half width green florist tape here, which is ready to go. And with this one, I've done two smaller petals in the middle. Now, I don't always do this, and there is a selection of different sizes that I'm going to show you. But I just think this is quite pretty to have the two bigger petals and two smaller ones. Now also these petals are made from all different types of mediums. I've got sugar here, I've got porcelain, and I've got air drying clay. So I have got a good little mixture in front of me, but I'm going to colour them and treat them all as if they were exactly the same. Now I'm just gently pulling these wires down and getting those ready. There we are, and that is it. Doesn't that look beautiful? Let's just keep going. Tape all the way down. And then we have two beautiful ones ready to put together. So I'm going to put that to one side, because what I would love to do is get all of these. I want to make one big, very colourful one, which I know you don't get in real life, but it's just about having a bit of fun here. So now I'm going to empty all of that pink in there. I'm going to get rid of it because we're going to move on to the next colour. And this one is using the violet. So here's a violet that I've done previously. And actually it has got tones of pink in it. And by all means, why not do pink and violet together? Because I do think they look lovely. Always make sure it's the right colour. And I'm doing exactly the same on this, but I want to do darker patches. So I'm doing an all over haze to get that colour. You see how much that's changed compared to the white one. And then I'm going to home in on just a few of those little veins right in the centre there. And I'm leaving the base white. Same on the back. So just all over, and then a little bit more in the centre of the actual petal itself. And then we do that to all of them. We have them all lined up ready. I just think this looks really pretty. Now, a little bit more colours needed. So a couple more drops. Always spray on a separate piece of paper, just to make sure it's the right colour. But I think this one looks lovely when it's mixed, actually, with the pinks. And then a little bit of colour just there. And I quite like it when the edges are tinted, not quite the same. I think it makes it look really pretty. Now let's tape those together. Now ideally leave them to dry a little bit if they've got a little bit of colour sitting on them. But I think these are okay, they've dried very quickly. They do absorb the colour really well when you're airbrushing, and this is why I do always go back to the chroma colours, because I think they are really nice. And then we're just going to wrap the tape around. It is preferring me today rather than itself. So again, I'm going to introduce that cornflower and tape down. Now I do pull them all down. If you notice, it's a technique I use quite often, just because it gets a really neat edge to the back. And your tape, you don't get that bobble of tape around the edge, which is quite nice. And the last one, there we are. Give them a quick little jiggle, just to make sure they're sitting how you would like them to sit, and then we can continue. So that is our lovely purple one. Now you can bring it up a little bit more and have it more closed if you wish, but I think that looks stunning. Let's put that to one side. Now then, let's move on. I'm just deciding what colours to do next. I think because I've got that lovely purple in there, I want to show you a bit of a mix of colours now. So I'm coming over and I'm just double checking my colour. And yes, I have got purple. Now I'm actually going to add a little bit of pink in there. So this is a bit of pink and a bit of purple mixed together. So I do just make sure the airbrush is ready. Like so. So 1 drop of the violet to about 3 drops pink, and you'll get this colour here. And we're going to just go around the edge, just gently touch the edges of these petals. Now that looks lovely as well. Just leave it on its own, just around the edges. And I actually think I might leave this one like that, because I just think it looks really pretty. So what you will find is, as you're creating these, you'll think, actually, I really like that. I'm going to leave it as it is. Don't feel forced that you have to add the colours, unless it's obviously a bride and you're doing it for a special occasion. But what I was actually going to do is put blue in the middle, because that was another one that I was copying, and I think that looks really vibrant. But I do really like pink, just pink around the edge. I think it looks lovely. So now we're going to tape these together. Now these ones, all of the petals are the same size. So I'm going to just put them together like so. Put them in their little group of 4. And like I said, this is a time-consuming flower, but not because it's difficult, just because there's a lot of petals here to make that really big circle, sort of ball-shaped head that it's got. Now I'm going to just move these down as normal, pull them down, make sure they're in the right place. But that also looks stunning, as you can see. So you will, as you're doing this and you're playing with colours, don't be scared to mess around a little bit, and don't be rigid and feel that you have to stick to the same colour, because this one was going to be with the blue inside, but I actually think just pink on its own looks lovely. So we're going to put that to one side and let's crack on. So now I'm going to empty my airbrush again, and I think now let's move on and do, this is actually going to be, I'm using red, but I've sprayed it on an air drying clay and it's actually changed the colour to a kind of brown, but I actually like it because it looks a little bit autumny. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to get my red, I'm going to put a couple of drops in, make sure it is red, and then we're going to come to our petals. And with this one, again, I've just kissed around the edges. Now you can see it looks quite red, but as it settles in, it will just totally change colour and go this lovely kind of brown colour. But I just think it reminds me of autumn. It looks really pretty. So we go around the edges, like so. I'm blowing them all over the place. Just keep them under control if you can. And have you noticed that all of my petals are slightly different in shape? And that's what I also love about the hydrangea. They're not perfect. I've got one growing outside now and I've just tried to have a look at it, and they're all so different, which I think is beautiful. So I'm just going to bring them together and then we tape up. So I'm taping down like so, and then as always just going to trying to pull the right ones down, which is challenging on its own. There we are. And then we just keep going with the tape, and then we will sort out. They all do move as we're working, so that's okay. So now I'm just going to come back, put those smaller ones to the back and the larger ones to the front. There we are, and that is our pink. But like I've said, don't be surprised if it does change colour slightly and it goes quite brown, but I think that looks lovely too. Now the next one I'm going to do, I am going to turn the paper over just so that it's got a bit of a clean background, and we're going to use a green one. So this vibrant green here, I think it's just really pretty and it really stands out. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our petals, and to make this green, it's actually green already done, and we're going to add some yellow. So I'm just emptying my container, making sure that there's no colour in there. And then I'm going to pop the green in. So 1, 2, 3 green. But then I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow. So quite a lot of yellow to make that really vibrant green. Hold your finger to the end, bubble up, and there's your green. Now I actually want that a little bit more vibrant, so I'm going to add some more yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more yellow. Let's try it again. And that's a little bit more vibrant. So we can start colouring. So with this one, I've done a very similar thing. I've done the all over haze. I'm actually not happy with that colour, so I'm going to start again. I'm going to get rid of all the colour. Now this is why you go very pale to start with, because if you're not happy with something, you can change it. So never feel like, oh no, I've mixed it now, I need to use that colour. No, you don't. You can just change it like I am. So I'm getting rid of all that colour, and then I'm going to start again. And I'm going to count my 6 drops of yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to put 2 drops of green. 1, 2. Right, I'm going to put my finger to the end to mix all that colour up. Makes a funny noise. Now that is better. And can you see the difference? There's not much, but it's enough when I want to do a really kind of vibrant colour. So I'm spraying all over. And then a little bit closer, just towards the centre there. I think that looks really pretty. And we do that with all of them. So gently over it, and then a little bit closer in the middle. So they've kind of got dots on them. So nice gentle haze, then a little bit closer, and the backs I just spray all in one colour. So all over haze, and then the front, that all over haze, and then just come down a little bit more. Now you can certainly do all of these effects with dust as well, and I am going to dust one for you just so that you know how to do something a little bit different with your dust, just in case you haven't got an airbrush. But hopefully you can see how quick airbrushing is as well. I personally think it really speeds things up. So I am just going to stop and cut my tape in half. Now if you don't cut your tape and you're using full width, what happens is the stem of your flowers will get very, very thick and fleshy. And you also waste a lot of tape as well. So you're kind of getting double the value by doing this. So it's worth just taking a minute just to stop and do your tape. Now I'm going to start putting this together. I'm putting a little bit of corn flour on my fingers there. And then, like I always do, I'm just pulling them down, making sure they're exactly where I want them to be. And they do all move and jiggle around. And then we just go all the way to the bottom. And then what we can do is just move very gently. Now when I handle these, because I'm used to handling sugar as well, and like I've said, there's a mixture of all sorts in front of me, I do put my finger where the wire is, and I'm actually bending the wire. If you try and touch the petals, they can break, so be careful of that. It's a bit of a tip for you. So we're going to put those to one side. That's going to go in our huge multicoloured arrangement that we're going to do. And then I just want to show you as well, I've done a little green one. So exactly the same, but just using the green petals. Just think it looks pretty. So we're going to add that. Now, because we've got the green in there, I want to tone it down with a little bit of brown. So we've got quite a vibrant green. Just want to add a little bit of brown to that. And that will kind of make it more earthy again. So by playing with your colours, you'll really start to learn what happens. So just a little bit of green, a little bit of brown. Can you see how that's changed the colour again? So now I'm going to put that brown and green right at the bottom, just there. And I'm doing it back and front on all of them. So this is going to be a dual coloured one. Like so. So we're doing this on all of them, just back and front. And the other one. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of all that colour, and I'm actually going to put a blue in there. So the blue I think I'm going to use is just the normal blue. I'm just going to put a few drops in. Let's see what colour it comes out. It's a bit of an aqua colour, and I think that's because the green's been in there. So I'm just going to spray a little bit longer, get that colour out. And I'm actually then going to add a little bit more. So it is about playing with your colours. This is what we're doing here. Let's see what colour that is. Now can you see how different that colour is straight away? So now I'm going to mix this all over. But can you see what you get there? You get this kind of different shades and tones. I'm going to do it on both of them. So that gentle haze over all of them. And it is a slightly different colour to the one I've got here, because on this one I've added pink. So I've gone over and I've added pink as well. As this one might keep it light blue actually. I think it looks quite nice. And that's the beauty of these. There's no right or wrong. The colours that these come in are just amazing. And I'm going over that green as well. Don't be scared of that, because all that's going to do is tone it down. I do actually want to show you a little bit of, let's add a bit of pink. So again, let's really mess around with these colours. A little bit of pink in there. Now the pink, can you see? I've put it onto the blue and it's coming out a little bit violet. But that's okay, because I want to make this a little bit more sort of autumny in colour. So we gently spray. Don't spray too much. And if your petals are getting wet, then obviously stop spraying them, because there's a bit too much colour there. Can you see how they've changed just by adding that little bit of pink onto the colour? So we're doing back and front on all of them. There we go. Right, now I'm just going to empty all that colour out, and then let's take these up as well. So we have got a really good mixture of colours here. Now the petals are the same size, so I haven't got to worry about that. So let's just pop them together. Now I have noticed that some hydrangeas have got a tiny little ball of paste right in the very centre. Now I haven't done that with any of mine, but you certainly can. And you would add this once you've taped it up. Don't add it before. So again, just hold that tape. A little bit of cornflour on my hands there. Go down a little bit, and then we're just going to pull them all down. Get them all lined up perfectly. Well, hopefully perfectly. There we are. And then give them a little twist where we need to. And down we go again. So this is something that you could make lots and lots of these petals and put them to one side, and then when an order comes in, you know you have them ready to go. There you go. So I think that one's quite nice with the different shades of colour, and that one's a little bit darker, but I think they look beautiful. Okay, so the last one I'm going to show you with the airbrushing is just a simple teal, but I actually think it looks really nice. So I'm just making sure there's no colour in my airbrush at this point, because if you noticed, I'm not washing out in between each one either. So I'm just putting colour on colour, but I am making sure that it's empty in between. Now there's my teal. So with this one, airbrush gently over, and then again that darker patch. And I think this is a lovely vibrant colour. There we are, put to one side. You can see it's really, really pretty teal. And a little bit darker just in the middle there. And do you know what's wonderful is every time you do this, it's slightly different. And look at the colours you're creating on your board as well, on your paper. Right, I'm out of it, so we'll just put a little bit more in. Whoops. And if you do ever make a little splat like that, just mop it up with a little bit of kitchen paper. I've nearly finished, so this paper's going to disappear in a moment, so I'm not too panicked, but if it happens to you, you just need to blot it out a little bit. There we are. So then let's tape our lovely teal ones together, and then I'm just going to show you quickly how to dust one as well. So again, just tilt it back just a tiny bit as we put those petals together. Can't pick up the wire, there we are. Pop them together. And then again, cornflour on those fingers because it doesn't want to stick to itself. Be quite forceful when you kind of do this motion to try and get them to stick together. And then we just pull them all down, get them nice and tight. Last one. There we are. And then just keep taping down, all the way down to the bottom. And then let's just turn them so that they are facing the right way. There we are. So that is the teal. And then this one here is just blue on its own. No colour mix or anything, just blue. So as you can see, you do get a lovely arrangement of colours there. Now what I'm going to do is just carefully move my messy piece of paper out of the way. In fact, I'll move it all out of the way. And I'm just going to bring in a little piece of paper and a paintbrush ready to do some dusting. Now I want to show you this one because this is one of my favourites and it's so vibrant and beautiful. And it's really simple, it's just dusting using 2 colours. So I've already got my petals made. And these are the 2 blues I'm using, Royal Blue by Edible Art and then Express Purple, also by Edible Art. So we're going to just open those up. Now I've got a flat paintbrush here and I tend to use the purple first. And I'm doing this in kind of strips, if you like, because I just think it looks nice. Back and front. Now because this is dust, we have got to be a bit careful because the dust will carry more. I'm more messy with dust, believe it or not, than I am with the actual airbrush. And then let's introduce the blues. So in between and over the top a little bit. So let's merge them all together. So you can see I'm just gently smudging them like so. Do the same on the back. A little bit of a blow there and then that's it. But can you see those lovely colours coming through? I am actually just gonna do a little bit more brushing outwards because I just want it to fade more. I want it to be a little bit harsher in the centre there. And there we are. So I think that's lovely. So we'll just do this one. And then we'll put these wonderful ones together. Now if you've got a bit too much colour on your brush, which is my problem most of the time, just dab it away. I'm going to focus on the purple just to get this one flower petals done. There we are. And I do think they're beautiful colours, really stunning. And we do, there we are. And then I'm going to dive into the royal blue and really merge those colours now. Really merge them and smudge them all in, back and front, because I think they look lovely. There we are, petal 2, and you can see they're slightly different, but I think that's what really makes this one my favourite, because every petal you do is going to be slightly different, and I just think it looks lovely. Try and keep that white on the edge if you can. I know it's really hard, because believe me, it'll be worth it when it's done. So I'm just smudging out and doing the backs as well. Below to just get rid of any excess colour that might be lying around. And then always put the lids on these. It's so easy to accidentally knock one of these off and onto a carpet or a floor and make a huge mess. So I always get rid of my colour before I move on and do anything else, just so that they're out of the way. Now I'm going to get my tape. I do need to cut it just a little bit more. There we are. Just roughly down the middle. And then let's bring these together. Now what I do is look at the ones I think are coloured the best, and I put those in the middle. So I'm choosing these two because this one's got more purple on it, which I really love. And then the other two towards the back. And we're wiring up exactly the same, so all the techniques are exactly the same. It's just the colouring that I'm focusing on. Let's get that stuck together. Twist, and then we pull down. Get them really tight as we go. Now I'm just going to go all the way down and then move them into the position you want them to be. So I'm just putting those petals at the back there. And don't they look beautiful with the white coming through as well? And that's the one I did earlier. So you can see they do really look pretty. So let's have a little look, I'm going to bring all of these in now. These are all of the flowers that we've airbrushed and coloured today. Let's put them in a big arrangement and see what they look like. Now I'm just going to go for it. I'm not going to do Pacific colours. I'm just going to put them all in a big bunch. But you can see the colours are just so vibrant. I am trying, it's so hard, but I'm trying not to put two colours the same together, which is incredibly difficult. But look at that. I'm really liking that. Let's put the blue over there. Let's put this lovely autumn colour in. Let's put a pink one there. So you can see how with a large amount you can really make these stand out. Let's put a pink there. That pink's got to go. Oh, no. We'll put the blue in. That beautiful vibrant blue that really stands out. Now I've done a tiny little green one as well. Don't forget him. And I think these last two can go there. Look at that. I'm just going to pull some of them out because some of them have got a little bit lost. So you can see I'm trying to get that ball shape. So I don't tape any of them at this particular stage. I'm just trying to hold them. But it is like holding a lot of balloons because they all want to just actually pop out and be beautiful. So I've just pulled that one out. Let's just put that one back in. There we are. And then I'm going to start taping. So let's just tape these up. Just so that you get the idea of what it's like to have that huge ball of colour. That's the idea behind this. So we just tape all the way down, and there we are. Look at that, a beautiful head. Now I will just move them out a little bit. Just pull them down slightly. Okay, so that is a beautiful colour there, and then this is the one we did in the previous video. So that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.